Alright, what is up YouTube? We are here in the lounge room doing something a little bit different because we are going to be doing some arts and crafts today. Let me fix that. This is alright. I'm doing some arts and crafts today because we're going to be building a new prototype for a game that I built the concept for the other night. Put in my print order, which you can see here. I've got my handy guillotine, one of my favorite birthday presents. And what we're going to do is we're going to build the prototype, and we're going to talk a little bit about how the game works as we do that. I might just move this forward a little bit so I can sit on the edge of the couch a bit better. So this is a color test sheet, and we should have, this is the rules page. I got everything done on a thicker cardboard because I thought that would work out like that. Here we go. So what I've done is I've set up each page to have 9 poker-sized cards per page, and even though I do it with no white spaces on the outside, they zoom in a little bit. There's really not much I can do about that. I haven't put in any cut lines, so this is going to be pretty sketchy, if I'm honest. We kind of eyeballing it. This is really not a great spot for this, isn't it? Let's see if I can. See if I can do it like this. Let's just move the table back up onto the rug. You can see me working, stressing. Alright. It's still not quite. No. I'm all the way up here. So as I'm cutting, I'm going to be talking about the game a little bit. So first up, I have to trim all of the white edges because the cards won't fit. But the actual in-between stuff of the cards, I'm kind of just eyeballing. Like, that's super not crooked, but that doesn't really matter because the big black border that I've put on it is all space that would get cut off anyway. And then I know, because the printer that I use, which is just like the regular local one, because I know that the local place does shrink it down a little bit. Oh, that was going to do my head in. Might have to do that a bit differently. We'll see. It's just not cutting it. Oh, might need to just use scissors instead. It kind of works if I really grind it in. That's a bit better. Once you get into a rhythm of it, the guillotine is really easy. But the guillotine's better for just regular sheet paper. I did this one extra thick because I wanted to see how it turns out. Normally I just do the thinnest. This time, however, I wanted to do something thick. So for this prototype, nothing looks really that sexy. It's just blank text on a white background. I didn't really want to put time into how it looks because I just wanted to focus on what it does mechanically first. And most of the gameplay doesn't actually care about symbols and colors. Most of it just cares about numbers. But it does want 3 different colors. Black, red, and green. The theme of the game is like defusing a bomb, where there's 3 different white colors, but this one is extra complicated in that it has a number combination as well. And each of the different wires has a different number combination. And so you're trying to, I don't know, it's like kind of like cracking a safe and defusing a bomb at the same time. Now, the players like these elite safe crack and bomb diffusing squad, right? And this device in particular has an added countermeasure where it detects human voices and then detonates. So they can't communicate with each other and have to do things simultaneously, which is really interesting. And so I've created a system in which players are able to communicate in a very limited fashion. And that is the thing in particular that I'm excited to test. Come on. No, I ripped it really bad. That's frustrating. This is the last time I get thicker card, huh? I probably also need to sharpen my guillotine. Okay, so each player has a hand of cards, and each player is trying to assemble in their hand the combination, the correct number combination. So, for example, this is a 6, and they have to figure out which is the correct wire, and they have to get the correct combination. And so you don't know who is going to be the person that's going to be diffusing, but you have to try and figure that out. And it's got like a pick up and pass kind of a thing. A lot of games similar to this will be like you'll pick up a card and you'll discard a card, and then people that might need that card will pick up from the discard pile. In this, your hand size just gets bigger slowly, which means that you'll get more numbers. It'll be easier for you to collect the combination stuff that you need, but also you'll get more information because there is 3 cards in particular. There we go. 3 cards in particular, which is on the next sheet, and they tell you which wire color it isn't. So if you get to see 2 of those cards, because one of them will be removed at setup, if you get to see 2 of those cards, then you will know which the wire color is. But there's additional modifiers, for example this one, which says, for you, the green and black wires have been swapped. So while that's in your hand, your particular set of cards, you now have to consider the colors to be different. Which means that if you know that it's not green and it's not red, but black and red are swapped, then it's red. And that means that you're now interested in a different combination of numbers. Or you might be able to pass that modifier card on. And then the other interesting thing is the cards that you're drawing from the deck can be seen because the deck is face up instead of face down like it normally would be. And a face up deck means that all players could potentially see the card that says the wire is not green. So if everyone's seen that, that means that you don't have to communicate that specific thing, but people will have to remember it. And it also means that the deck gives people information as things are happening. So only if you start with a bunch of stuff that says, oh, the wire's not this color, do you have to worry about communicating that to people. And the way that each turn plays is that you'll draw the top card of the deck, you will pass a card to another player, and then you will pick up a communication card. And you can only have one communication card at a time, and you can swap them with other people. But what the communication cards say is something like this, like, don't make me diffuse, or I need information. Which is kind of like an ongoing status. You're like, please, I need a 3. Somebody hand me a 3. And that'll tell other people, rather than them randomly passing a card, it'll tell them to go, oh, I can do that, or this might help. And then people are trying to identify who's going to diffuse, and all this kind of stuff. So there is a lot of communication. This is not verbal, and it's all very specific to what cards are available. So if somebody else has the information card that you've got, you can swap them, and then that person suddenly has an outdated information status because you can only change it on your turn. And you're trying to solve this puzzle. It's a cooperative game. You're trying to solve this puzzle as the deck slowly runs out, because when the deck runs out, the bomb timer is done and goes off. Almost done. There's only 2 sheets left. And the initial concepts for this, I got asked about this recently, whether I usually start with theme or I start with mechanics or whatever. This one in particular started with mechanic, and the mechanic is a card game, but people's hands just get bigger over time and they pass each other cards. And I originally wanted it to be something like where you just collect awful things and you're trying to pass them on, or like maybe a set collection or something like that. I had a couple of different options of what I thought would be good. And in the end, what I settled on was something more like this, where I was like, you know what if it's cooperative? What if everyone has awful things that they just need to tolerate? And then how do we handle that? How do we not just, have all the open information? How do we deal with all these different things that the players are going to be suffering through? Oh, let me sit on the table and do the last bit. This is hurting my knees too much. Okay. Because what I wanted to focus on was the communication aspect of the game. And I had the kind of the base blueprint of how the individual player has information about the game travels, and that's the hand management kind of a thing, and then how each of the different cards instructs the player on how to play comes together pretty easily, but then you have to try and figure out how to navigate stuff. And I got something like, I need to know things. Okay, we'll cut this part of my section off because this is the last page. Here we go. Oh, I should have taken the other side. It's not an exact science. All the cuts are really wonky, but that's fine because it's a prototype. It doesn't need to look sexy. It just needs to all come together. So this is the deck. It actually turned out quite thick. The thickest cardboard option, which I think is 300 GSM. I can't remember. And then I made a sheet of the rules. The game's tentatively called a detonator. Basically, it instructs you on how to do set up. So we'll quickly have a look at this. Pile up all my rubbish together. Alright. So we've got 3 important cards that are... these are all info cards. These are all info cards. Don't pass me numbers. Don't give me problems. That's all info cards. Then we've got the difficulty ones, which is the for you, something has been swapped, and also it does something while it's in your hand. And then we have these 3 cards. So we've got the white color is not red, the wire color is not black, the wire color is not green. But while these cards are in your hand, they have a negative effect. So to start the game, you have to remove one of these, because otherwise the wire is no colors. So for this one, we're just going to remove not red, but this would be done at random when you're actually playing the game, and then these would be shuffled into the deck. But then there's also these other cards that we need. So this wire is black, this wire is green, this wire is red. Which I might be able to zoom in on. It's like right near me. And bring these down here. What am I doing? Like this, okay. Right down near me. Now, I am sitting on the table, it does make it a bit harder to see. And we have 12 dice, and the 12 dice are rolled to then make the combinations. Like this, I've got 2 extra. And so the different combination that you're trying to build is randomly made each time. So this is just what I've spilled onto the table. I won't really bother rolling it. And so you can see this is the objective that we have right here. You can zoom in a bit more even. This is the objective that we're working with here. What you're trying to do with the deck of cards that I now have here. Let me get the top of my head in shot. I'm too tall. There we go. So this deck will be shuffled, and then you are trying to get the different numbered cards to match the numbered dice on the specific wire that you think that it is. So in your hand, you'll have a whole bunch of it. You'll have a big mess of things that you will have collected over time. And at any point, a player who thinks they can diffuse will diffuse, but there'll be some kind of unanimous facial expression that will make it feel like that. But as you get towards the end, you will have a deck that only has a few cards in it, and you'll be able to see what the top card is, and like stuff will come out of it. And then once the deck runs out, that's it, you've lost. But the extra reason why the deck is upside down is that just in case one of the important cards that says what color the wire is could be the very bottom card, and if it's the very bottom card, you will find out just exactly what color it is at the last second. And diffusing isn't something that you like have to do on your turn. You could do it like at any time. So if the person goes, oh, I know that now the wire is this color, I'm going to play my thing and I'm going to solve the puzzle. Which I think like builds a sense of tension because the deck is running out. You're like, oh no, we're running out of time. I still don't know what's going on. I haven't got all of the colors and stuff that I need all together. And then we've got the info cards. We've got the I know something, which might be I have one of the wire cards. We've got one of each of the numbered things. Like I need a 6, I need a 5, I need a 4, and so on. I need to know things, which is like, dude, I have no idea what the wire color is. Don't make me diffuse. There's some cards that give you, like if you have, I have a whole bunch of swap the this and the this thing, can be really awkward, which is not great. There's cards that have effects when they are passed to you. For example, this one says, when you are passed this card, swap the position of the red and black wire, which means that on the table, the black and red wire will swap. So suddenly they have a different number combination to solve them and they're diffused. So you're not just waiting to find out what the color is and picking up number cards. As you're passing stuff, like the game is changing and the game is getting harder. And then we have the I'm in charge now. That's the whoever's player turn it is. So while it is your turn, you won't have really an active status. And then at the end of your turn, you will swap that for another card, which will let you choose how to do different things. Don't pass me numbers, which might be, I already have a bunch of numbers. Don't give me problems, which is the, like, if I'm diffusing, don't give me problems is like don't give me the black and red wire swapped or something like that. And then the rest are number cards. So that was kind of the idea. I just wanted to make a video about building the prototype. You can see kind of what it's like, what kind of the idea is, how basic it is. Like I didn't put any color into this. I didn't really put any time into this beyond writing down what the ideas are and doing a black and white prototype. I had some stock art already. Kyrul, one of the guys in the Australian scene, released a PNG pack of a whole bunch of different art assets that I really liked. And so the dice icons are from that. I like whacked the whole thing together in Photoshop. I was like, okay, this is what all my ideas are going to be. And then in Sydney, we have a monthly playtesting event. And in the playtesting event, I'm just going to bring this along, and we're going to like play games, see what it's like, see how it goes. And that's the whole idea. That's what being a game designer is kind of like. You just kind of try something. This might just be an exercise in honing exactly how the different communication skills work with the cards, or it might be something about the pick up and pass style hand management gameplay. That could be all there is to it. That's it. That's it from Detonator. If you want to see other board game content, I actually have a bunch of other stuff on this channel. You can click on these little boxes, these little buttons I'm going to have here. Click on these things, and they'll take you to other cool stuff that we have on the channel for you to check out. And hit that subscribe button. That's also cool and a fun thing to do.